Okay, hi everyone, Ben from Old Mate Designs here. I am a manufacturer of premium herb grinders here in Australia. I'm currently working on some accessories. One of those accessories is a stainless steel spoon or a stainless steel scoop. I will grab one and show you. Okay, so this, let me get my autofocus happening. So this was the 3D printed spoon. I've been throwing these in everyone's orders for the last sort of month or so. And this is the stainless steel one. These marks on the top here, that's from the tool coming in and running over the top and facing it. I think the marks look pretty cool, pretty trippy. So I'm gonna leave them on there. You can't feel them or anything, it is super flat. One thing you'll notice is the depth. From the 3D printed one versus the stainless steel one. So what I've done is this face here, I've brought this up a little bit. It's going to be a bit hard to show this on camera. So I brought this face up, and that allowed me to make a deeper bowl. And I think it just paid off. Nice deep bowl. All right, let me show you what I'm up to. So these, Winston's had a haircut. He looks like a completely different dog. So these are the raw ones, the blanks. And these are the finished ones. I've just started today machining the finished ones. Okay, so this is how I'm holding the parts. What I might do is just chuck these down here. So you get a blank part, and they sit in these jaws perfectly. These jaws are made from tool steel, super hard steel, because I'm only grabbing on by just above the center point. And if I didn't have hard jaws, what ends up happening, I can actually show you what happens, because I have one here. So these were the previous jaws I made. And what happens is you clamp the part, you keep clamping it, and as you clamp it, it ends up bruising this jaw here. So essentially it dents this jaw. Let me bring in a bit closer. Oh, you can actually see. So here, see that bit there? Runs all the way along. That's from the part going in, and it grabs that and bruises it every time. You can see how up here it's bruising the metal. So that is not ideal, because the more you do, the more you make, the more it bruises, and then the part ends up sitting wobbly. It'll end up flying out and things as it bruises. So what I've had to do is make this tool steel one. So this one won't bruise at all. This is made of a fair few parts, and it is still mint, which is quite handy. Okay, so I get it to sort of that point there, and then what I need to do is tighten the vise up. Because I don't want to tighten it up too tight or too loose, I have what you call a torque wrench. So on this scale here, I can set how many foot-pounds or how many Newton meters I want to exert on the bolt, this being the bolt. So when I tighten this, it'll get to a point and it will click. Once it clicks, I know it's at the perfect pressure on the bolt. So let's have a look. See that point there? It's now clicking. This bit here moves. So then I can guarantee that's the perfect tension. It's not too loose, it's not too tight. Anyone that runs this job will put the exact same amount of pressure on the vise. And then what I do is I grab my trusty mallet and basically just give it one drop. And now make sure the part's sitting perfectly flat. And then I shut my door, hit the play button, which is down here. Oh, sorry, I didn't have a key on. All right, so now it's going to go and grab a probe, and it is going to probe the spoon. Sounds pretty pinky. All right, so I don't know if you can see, it touches one side, and then it jumps over and touches the other side. So it touches both sides, it touches one side, jumps over, touches the other side, and then goes to the middle and sets it perfectly in the middle. So the machine knows exactly where that part is now. Okay, now it's just grab the first tool and it is going to start machining out the spoon. So cutting out the top, basically cutting out the top, machining all this profile, that profile into it. Okay, let's talk about the XL. This is what everyone is here for. And just get you in front of the computer. Okay, so this is what I've come up with. I heard all your feedback from the last YouTube video, and the general consensus was everyone was saying ditch the screws in the corner and make it magnetic, and I like the idea, so that is what we are going to do. So the cap now has these two sort of cutouts, I guess, and so does the lid, the top. So to get, because when it's magnetic, if the cap drops in there, you have no way of getting it out again. So I've come up with this sort of solution with two sort of finger grooves. So you'll be able to get your fingers either side, lift it off, you'll be able to put your finger under there and lift the cap off. I'm toying with the idea of having an O-ring in here. I mean, I think it's a good idea, but it's still not going to be 100%. So if I have the O-ring sit a little bit higher than this face, so a little bit higher, once the cap drops in, it'll squish that O-ring down and seal it. Now, the only issue with that is there's still not a seal around this center bearing boss, I guess, and this edge. So there's going to be, there's a 0.15 of a millimeter gap between the cap and this ridge. So I don't know whether the O-ring is really necessary. It's not doing anything because there's a gap here. It's probably better off if I just machine the two faces nice and flat, and then the flatness of the two faces will create a seal. But who knows, I might put the O-ring in, I might not yet. But yes, that is what I am working on. So there'll be magnets pressed into each corner here, and then there'll be corresponding magnets pressed into the cap, and then they will just snap shut, and it should work well. My plan is to machine one of these out of stainless steel next week. I do have a 3D printed one. So this is a 3D printed one, just to make sure these finger grooves are a decent size. I think they are. So you'll be able to get in and lift the cap off. There'll be magnets pressed into each of these corners and potentially an O-ring. So yeah, that is what I'm up to with that. Machine's currently making one. It takes about 10 or so minutes to rough it out and finish the operation 2 of the spoons. Yeah, let me turn this around. So put this back up here. Zoom this out. Okay, so yeah, that is what I'm up to this week. I've ordered all the stainless steel. The pre-orders are going very well. I'm nearly sold out. I might open more, I'm not sure yet, or I might just close the orders and start getting into it. Yeah, that's about it for me this week. I imagine, yeah, the next week or so I'll be introduction with the XLs. Kevin's currently over there making the Aroma-3s. Yeah, that is about it. Thanks for all the support as usual. It wouldn't be possible without yous, and I'm very keen to get these XLs in your hands. Yeah, I'm now going home. It is Sunday afternoon. Yes, have a good rest of the week, everyone, and I will catch up next week. Bye.